And then our next segment, we are going to hop into the fight that's down under. And if you know what I'm talking about, we are speaking of the fight for the undisputed lightweight championship. I don't want to talk about any of those other belts.
Yeah, the rematch that shouldn't be. Yeah, the rematch, the most unnecessary, the superfluous fight of the weekend.
Well, no, I mean, partially, but I think the rematch that is if
contractually obligated.
Exactly. So like Kambosos, like this just means that Kambosos has a good promoter and manager, because that he's gonna get a check. Not only that, but he's gonna rematch fight in his hometown. I'm not mad at that at all.
I think all that was to have Danny say no.
I mean, well, that's how. I mean, the person who has the most, the person who's willing to walk away first is the one who has the most leverage in negotiations, right? So we'll give Boston a couple of seconds before we jump back into this segment.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a fun-filled fight for this weekend, but we'll go ahead and start with the casual rant. So on Saturday, October the 15th at 11 p.m., this is going to be on ESPN Plus in Melbourne, Australia. We have Devin Haney taking on George Kambosos for the WBC, the WO, the IBF, and the WBA lightweight championships. Forget what you heard about all those other fake belts out there. This is for the undisputed title at this time. And I'll go ahead and give the odds. We'll come back with our picks, but Devin Haney is a massive favorite. He is a negative 1250 favorite, meaning that you would have to bet $1,250 to get back $100, and George Kambosos is a plus 700 underdog, meaning that $100 bet will get you $700 back if there is a win by George Kambosos. So with this said, we can let's talk about this fight, the casual one. But do you see the winner of this fight kind of being the head honcho, the king of this lightweight division, or do you see it as just as a bridge on to particularly if it's Haney, right, to kind of move on to bigger and better things?
So this is a huge fight for Devin Haney. Not because he's going to win, it's the style he needs to win by. If he beats Kambosos like he beat him last time, it's going to be a loss for the Haney team. Haney. Why I say it's going to be a loss is because they're not going to generate enough people that want to see him fight going forward. So right now in that division, you say if he wins, yes, by belts, he is the guy at 135. What, 130?
No,
135.
135.
Yeah, he will be the guy at 135. But in that same division, they're talking about the Tank Garcia fight is maybe on par or a little bit lower than the Spence Crawford fight. And
we don't know what weight that's at. We don't know what weight that's at. Because Garcia is a 140-pound fighter, Tank's 135-pound
so
fighter.
if Tank the A side, why he gonna go up? If he, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that he's fighting now. If you asking casual Rand right now, I'm saying that fight will be at 135, and that fight is bigger than anything Devin Haney can put together at 135, even though he controls all the belts. So they're already on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, like Tank's team saying like, yo, Tank don't fight for belts. Tank fight for that money in that gate.
So it don't matter what Devin do then. So if Devin go out there and stop
Devin going to have to show out. Devin going to have to put on a show and get Kambosos' ass out of there and to make a name for himself. But if he beats him and is boring as shit, ain't nobody going to call for that Tank Haney fight.
Well, let me ask you this then. If Devin goes out there and does what you're saying, goes out there and stops Kambosos in spectacular fashion, and then 2 days later, they announce Tank versus Ryan Garcia at 135 pounds, Is Devin still the premier guy in the division, or is it Tank?
No, it's still Tank.
Still Tank with no belts.
With no
How's
belts.
that? How's,
With no belts.
yeah, man.
I mean,
What a crazy ass world we live in boxing.
Like I always tell y'all, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can pull up them numbers with Kambosos and Haney, and even if you could pull them, even if it was United States, it still ain't going to trump what Tank doing.
What's Tank's best win at 135
I
pounds?
give a shit if it's against damn the Bozo the Clown. Them numbers is hitting. Tank
right,
numbers
but
is hitting. So that means he is the man at that division.
Okay.
Hey, but look, man, let me pop back up in here, man. Because when we first started this whole pop talk stuff, man, Jared, you just been hating on Tank like for motherfucking ever, man. And to me, bro, it just don't make no sense. The first time hating on it, I'm sorry, man. Hold on, Kazaran, you done, bro? Go ahead. Let me let you finish. I gotta come back.
That's all I had to say. You know what I'm saying? Haney gonna have to show up and show out so he can put his name in the hat for a potential Tank fight. Because of right now, it don't make no sense. Even though he has all the belts, he ain't no draw. He ain't no draw.
You don't think he just has to win?
No. He's gonna win a spectacular
they gonna lump his ass up like Rigondeaux. They gonna look what else? The one with the 5 brothers.
Gary Russell.
They gonna lump him up just like that, and then they ain't never.
I don't think none of them were ever undisputed.
Right, that's the thing, and that's what. Look, I get what the argument Randy's making. I was playing more so devil's advocate.
Okay,
but,
that's what I thought.
Yeah. No, I was playing devil's advocate, but just to. It's crazy this boxing world we live in today, isn't it kind of wild, man? This kid and look, I get it because I've criticized Devin Haney for the same thing, but I had to give the kid his respect because he's the undisputed champ, and I think he's fought the better opposition than Tank. But I'm not going to sit here and try to argue that he's going to be the number one guy in the division based off of all the stuff that Randy explained. So I get it. I was playing more so devil's advocate to see what Randy.
With that said, I think it.
Well, Dave has some shit to get off his chest.
Yeah, but it is. I'm gonna throw it to him. But so you think that Devin Haney, his win over George Kambosos was better than Tank Davis' knockout of Leo Santa Cruz?
Yeah, Santa Cruz is a 126 pounder or 130 pounder. Moving up.
Yeah, but he
come on, man.
He flattened him. He knocked out Mario Barrios, who was a bigger guy.
Who has won what? Who is Mario Barrios? What's his? I mean, look, if we're gonna do this, like, look, I get it.
I know, but I mean,
Barrios, but who?
I mean, so but what I'm saying, but like, so what are you? So what do you think is George? I mean, it's not George Haney, but Devin Haney's best win.
I think right now it's Linares, maybe Linares, and the secondary win is where he
was doing that little genuine dance at the end.
Yeah, he did. But I tell you what, though. I still think now maybe the Pitbull Cruz, and now this Pitbull Cruz has really starting to establish himself as a top 135 pounder. The argument that you could make
as a menace, yeah.
And Tank with one hand was able to, in my opinion, convincingly outbox Pitbull Cruz. So you've got Pitbull Cruz, you've got Pedraza, who really hasn't done a whole heck of a lot, in my opinion, since losing the Tank. I don't know, man.
I was just surprised that you think that Devin Haney has a better resume than
I just look at it. Look, and that's without litigating it the way we're litigating it now. When it
I thought you were going to say that's
names,
without looking. I thought you were going to say that's without looking.
No, not without looking. No, I can think of the names.
I want to sum this up before we go to Dave. I want to sum this up by bringing in a topic that we brought in before. Is kind of the reason that we're in this predicament now. The reason I say that Haney is not getting the respect that he is as an undisputed is because he only beat Kambosos to become undisputed. He didn't go to Charlo route of beating 4 champions to become undisputed.
Oh, well, I'm so
very few
sorry.
guys,
If you want to
Randy.
beat 4 champions,
I'm
become
so
undisputed,
sorry
he'll
that
be the number one
I'm
at
so sorry
135.
I'm so sorry that he beat the man, and instead of he should have been like,
He beat
you know
one guy.
what?
He beat
The
one
guy
guy.
who had all the belts.
Yeah.
Okay, so but now look at him. Now look at him. He's still the B side of a Tank fight.
Well, Randy,
His
Terrence
undisputed is irrelevant.
Terrence Crawford beat 3 champs. You don't respect any of them guys who Terrence Crawford beat. Right.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
So it don't matter who the fuck. Devin
All
could
right.
have beat.
But no. I respect Terrence Crawford at 140. I respected him as the unified champion.
No, you didn't.
Let's not get too far away, guys. Let's not listen. We bringing in a whole bunch of kind of ancillary topics.
No, we're not, because Randy's argument is that Devin, if he had beaten 4
if he would have bought 2 or 3 more champions,
he will be able. But you were also saying
but that's not true.
But you were also saying that he doesn't respect.
I respect Crawford at 140. I don't respect him at 140.
Those are ancillary topics. Like, we are talking about a undisputed fight this weekend, and let's throw it to Coach Dave or whatnot. So first let's give your analysis on the fight, and then we can kind of bring in the other stuff, because at this point, bringing in Tank and other people who are not fighting, those are ancillary topics. But let's talk about what's happening this weekend, and then we can bring in who would be the A side, B side fighting with Tank.
Let me just focus on. Well, first of all, I don't even know why it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney should just beat this guy. If you take a look at the first fight, seeing what it would take for Kambosos to overcome that reach, that movement, that jab, that boxing technicalness of Haney, I just don't see him changing the whole fight game like that. I don't see it happening. I just don't. And I ain't been watching his camp. I don't see it happening. The only thing I see this Joker doing is just, you know what you probably should have did the first fight, instead of getting frustrated and confused by Haney putting them twins all up on your face. You should have made it as ugly as you can. You should have made it like a ugly woman eating daggone cold, unsalted grits and frying. That's what you better do. But I don't see the skill set that's needed to outbox. I don't see it happening unless God Almighty has just touched his boxing acumen and said, "It shall be done." So that's in a nutshell, that's my take on it. Now, going back to all this other stuff, I sum it up with a quickness, man. I just think even on the stuff that was on the outskirts with Randy and Jerry was coming, I honestly, even like last week and definitely this week, I'm trying to tell you, I think Randy's analysis of stuff is, I respect Haney as the champion, but he's just a boring fighter. So what, he got the belt. Bottom line of it is, Tank knocking mofos out. He people coming to see him fight. Haney is in the same way as you can take the self-proclaimed, best ever Mayweather. His fights got boring, man, and period. It just, people still went to go see him though. He just more so maybe to see him lose, but it ain't no crowd pulling thing. And on that strength of opposition argument, Jerry, I agree with that stuff to some degree, bro. But I told you even a while back when you was talking this shit about, I said, you know what? You're talking about strength of opposition. I talked to you guys about a holistic look and how you build fighters. And I told you to go and count Tank's his 27 fights, and then take a look at Mike Tyson's 27 fights. Take a look at that ratio. Take a look at the opposition. But it does not take away the fact that this boy can fight. That's I think the whole thing is that you missing on this Tank guy.
Dave, nobody said he couldn't fight. Nobody said that.
But I'm saying the analysis that you give on him You know, and this guy is so, when I tell you Tank is so parallel to Mike Tyson in terms of fights, victories, and knockouts, it would stun you. It would stun you.
Where is Tank's Razor Ruddock?
It don't, bro. It don't. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. Listen to what I'm saying. And we are not even talking about on a pound for pound level. I'm just talking about here. Look at what this guy is doing.
You said they parallel. Okay. I pull up Mike Tyson. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm gonna pull up Mike Tyson on box.
I think there's a little bit of difference in that.
More than a little bit.
Well, yeah, because there is not the threat of a knockout that you have in anybody that you fight in the heavyweight division compared to somebody that you fight as a lightweight or junior lightweight.
No, man. I totally disagree. A punch is a punch, bro. A punch. Hey, if jokers are getting knocked out by damn jabs in any division, a punch is a punch, bro. You cannot say that. You cannot say that.
But
about
a heavyweight, one punch can take you out, and unless you're a tank, you're not gonna see that at lightweight or junior lightweight. I think that's what makes Tank just a freak of nature and makes him a unicorn. Like, he's got legitimate, not even, I mean, he has verified one punch power at that weight division.
I mean, Wilfredo Gomez had 100% knockout ratio through like 29 fights at 130 pounds, right? So unicorn, I think, might be stretching things, but yeah, we get it. The kid can crack.
How many people did he drop with one punch?
Wilfredo Gomez? I have to go back and look. But I know
I would say nobody.
That's based off of what? Now, I can't remember all of Wilfredo Gomez's fights. I know going into that Salvador Sanchez fight, he had
Salvador, hold on. You
100%
lightweight Salvador Sanchez. Hold on. You talking about lightweight? 135? And
I believe it might have been at 130. I think the Salvador Sanchez Wilfredo Gomez fight was at either 126 or 130 pounds. I can't remember, but we get it. The kid Tank can fight, man. Nobody's saying he can't fight. Nobody in their right mind is questioning Tank's boxing ability. What they do question, and when I say they, objective critics question his opposition. That's it. That's it. I don't understand why Tank fans get so riled about this shit. I mean, Devin has fought more recognizable guys, more name brand recognizable guys.
Wow, really?
Hey,
I believe.
I'm just gonna read the last 10 opponents for each of those people.
For who? Haney or
for
Haney and Tank?
Yeah.
Right,
so we have. So this is for.
Well, David, you want to say something?
Okay, go ahead, Coach.
I just wanted to ask, and just one word answers. All right, who wins, Haney or Tank?
Tank.
Bump record. Who wins?
Tank.
All right, who wins, Garcia or Tank?
Tank.
All right. Who wins? All right. Lomo or Tank?
That's a close fight.
I want to see how Lomo looks in his next fight.
But we want to see the fights, Dave. Okay. Why are we talking about?
But I'm saying
talk about hypothetical shit. When are we gonna see these fights happen? Let's see.
But my point of it is this: you're talking about strength of opposition. If the opposition is Haney, you just said he gets his ass whooped.
But I want to see it though.
So that kills it.
No, it doesn't kill it, Dave, because I still want to see it happen.
But
I think Crawford stopped Spence. I still want to see the fight.
All right, so listen. So Tank has 27 fights with 25 knockouts. Devin Haney has 28 fights with 15 knockouts. So last 10 opponents. Rolly Romero. So this is for Tank Davis, Rolly Romero, Isaac Cruz, Mario Barrios, Leo Santa Cruz, Yuriokis Gamboas, Ricardo Nunez, Hugo Ruiz, Jesus
Ramos, right?
Yeah.
No, damn,
so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then Francisco Fonseca, and then Liam Walsh. And then we go 11. So right before that was Jose Pedraza, was his
Pedraza might still be his best win out of all of them guys.
So that was like that's going 11 deep on there, right? So
Okay.
if I go to Devin Haney, Devin Haney has his last fight was George Kambosos, Jojo Diaz, Jorge Linares, Yuriorkis Gamboa, Alfredo Santiago, Zaire
Abdullayev.
Abdullayev, Antonio Moran, Zolosani, and Dajigini, Juan Carlos Borjos, Mason Bernard, and I think we get the picture. And then Hamza Simpiwo. I mean, come on, like
man, all these alphabet soup guys, bro.
I mean,
Yeah, but look,
on.
I will say this: that with the Fonseca and was it Liam Walsh?
It wasn't.
Walsh was a name at the time, I believe. So was Fonseca at that time, I believe. So I will say this: Tank has probably got more names that I recognize, more guys that I've seen. But
Yeah.
I would rate Diaz and Linares over any of those guys who he's beaten, with the exception of maybe Pedraza. So it's a little bit closer.
Come on, like Diaz was a height machine that never reached those. Leo Santa Cruz was a legitimate champion.
Yeah, he was, but at what weight though?
It was at 126, but he
At
only
126. And what weight
yeah,
did the fight happen at?
It happened at 130. It happened at 130.
Hey, so how many people, whether you recognize the names or not and all that stuff, but how many show enough damn thumpers or whatever would you say Haney had out of those 27 fights?
Thumpers, when you say thumpers, quality of opposition is what I think what you're talking about.
Break as a wow, this is some strength of opposition. How many of those would you rate? How many of you would you say? Out of those
I would say Diaz, Gamboa, Kambosos, Linares. 4.
So 3.
4.
All right. So on Tank.
With Tank, Pedraza, Gamboa, even though the Gamboa had the jacked up leg in that fight.
Okay.
Pedraza, wait a second. So Gamboa.
He fought Gamboa after. Didn't he fight Gamboa after Tank fought him? He
did, but Gamboa was at least didn't have a torn Achilles or a ruptured Achilles during the fight.
All right, so wait, so how many did Tank have? How many you get for Tank? 2, 3, how many?
Tank, I would say Pedraza, I would say Gamboa.
Isaac Cruz.
Isaac Cruz, definitely. And man, I definitely want to say maybe. Oh man, the Fonseca and Walsh was a while ago, but those guys were definitely names at the time. So I may have to reconsider based off of Fonseca and Walsh, because at that time those names were pretty good if I remember correctly.
But even with those,
they were undefeated and he smashed them. He knocked.
Yeah, wow. The Walsh win specifically. Yeah.
Okay, so 4 and 4 for both of them, right? In terms of strength of opposition that we would consider equal, man. It's 4 and 4.
Oh, we named 4 names. I still would rank Linares and Diaz, those 2 guys, over any 2 guys that Tank has.
Even at this point, like I remember when I was, not to put out there, when I was like locked up in Atlanta, and I remember them talking about Jorge Linares.
You've been locked up.
Long story. That's a different story.
It was like grad school. Okay, grad school when I was in Atlanta living. That was 2003. That was 2003. That's almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. and look
you
though.
Said your boy old as shit. That's what he said.
So, okay, guys, I ain't even getting into the opposite. So now, listen at this. It was 4 and 4 that were like, they might have had some soft fight. Listen at these names here, bro. Listen at these names here. Check it out. Mitch Blood Green.
Mitch Green.
James Tillis.
Yeah. Tony
And-
Tucker.
No, let me finish. No, let me finish. Mitch Blood Green,
Yeah.
James Tillis. Count up Mike Tyson's his 27 fights.
Yeah, but Dave, how many times a year was he fighting?
But you making excuses, bro. I'm saying you might
Excuses.
and I would say Tony Tucker. I think Tony Tucker. Those and so my point being, bro, is you're looking at jokers that we consider solid fighters, strong fighters, bro. They 4 and 3 even on Mike Tyson, Jared. So that's why I'm just saying, hey man.
So let me ask you this, Dave. Wait, how old was Tyson when he was fighting them dudes?
But what's
19?
Yeah. And how old is Tank now? Tank is almost 30, isn't he?
You got an excuse for every.
It's not about excuses, Randy. Dave, you trying to compare apples and oranges. You trying to talk about a guy who was active 30 years ago, over a quarter of a century ago, against a guy who's active now.
It ain't apples and oranges. It's the boxing methodology of how you build a fighter. All
right, we're gonna be building Tank Davis until we all got gray hairs. We'll all be bald and in retirement homes. We'll still be building Tank Davis.
I mean, but to me, I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it even though it is with Mayweather, but it's a paradigm shift. Tank is going about it by saying that the belts ain't shit, which everybody says, but everybody still try to reach for them 4 belts. Tank is saying, look, I don't give a shit about the belt. My name stands alone, and I am going to reign at this division.
Really, I don't think that's what's happening. I mean, this is not.
I think that's what's happening. That's totally what's happening.
Ellaby
just said it. Ellaby just said it. He was like, y'all can fight.
Ellaby is cap, man. Like, what
exactly. Thank you.
When have you heard Ellaby say something? You'd be like, man, that was smart. He's gonna do it. No, he's not. What I'm saying is like what we want to see. I want to see the model of Sugar Ray Leonard when he was like, I'm taking out Duran, I'm taking out Hearn, I'm taking out all of those top guys.
Look who at the time who's his mentor. Mayweather ain't never been like, yo, I'm going to unify all 4 belts. He ain't never say that.
Yeah, he did. Before Zab Judah lost to Baltimore, that was the fight to get Floyd Mayweather undisputed, and then Zab ended up losing to Baltimore.
He was supposed to be undisputed, but then Zab messed that up.
He realized afterwards. So was that before when he was Pretty Boy or Money?
He was Pretty Boy.
I don't fucking remember, Dave. I know they were talking a bunch of shit.
Once he became Money, he understood that you ain't got to fight for these belts and pay these sanctions.
No, that's not true.
You can still be
Randy,
the biggest draw in boxing.
You understand? There is no money without Pretty Boy. Nobody cares about Money Mayweather without all the accolades and all the stuff that Pretty Boy did.
So that's I say bullshit because Tank is Tank. He is the top 5 draw in boxing. Top 5. Name me 5 other. Tell me he ain't a top 5 draw in boxing right now.
Okay.
Tell me he ain't.
He ain't.
He probably is right around that number 5.
So
probably.
You're scraping at 5 when Mayweather was the number 1, but I don't see but he's scraping maybe at 5. Like I think I can name 5 in front of him.
He's still top 5 and not chasing 1 belt. Not chasing 1 belt. So you can't tell me the fucking plan ain't working. You can't say the plan ain't working, bro.
How's it working?
You mad because the fights that you want ain't being made, but the fights that Tank's doing,
I mean, that's got his
name. Yeah, because we're fucking boxing fans. We want to see good fights. We don't want to see him beat up Rolly Romero, dog.
What else will we be mad about? I mean,
if the belts matter so much, then why is a fucking Tank Garcia fight bigger? It's probably like the top 3 fights
because of Garcia, because of this new dumb social media era, and because of Garcia, because Garcia is
all right. It ain't because of the fucking belts, bro. Haney can have all them belts. You see, he fucking dumping them as is. He done dumped 2 of them.
Well, he dumped the ceremonial belts, the
ring.
franchise belts, which the WBC just created, right? And that ring belt, which is, you know, like I don't even know where I would put that in the hierarchy of belts, but yeah, look, I get it. You know, Tank is the more popular guy, but Devin Haney is the number one fighter at 135 pounds. It's a no-brainer. He's an undisputed champ. He's not the most popular fighter. He doesn't do the most numbers, but he is the number one ranked fighter in the division. He's got all 4 belts. Tank is the more popular guy. And if you let LRB and PBC want to make all these excuses why they won't fight Devin Haney, they can make them. And we'll come on this show on Wednesday night and we'll continue to say what it is.
So Randy, so does Tank draw more than Canelo?
No.
Does he draw more than Joshua?
No. Very no.
More than Wilder?
Nah, I think
the answer is no.
And
like,
you being unfair. All of these.
What am I saying?
So okay, but
like you said top 5, Randy.
I did say that, but you know, naturally, heavyweight fighters has always been the crux.
You should have thought about that before you just said
it. I see what you're doing, but yeah, heavyweight traditionally has outsold any fucking other.
So he's not. So he's not top 5.
I still all right. So subtract the heavyweights. I say he top 3.
Subtract the heavyweights.
You got
all right. Now he's like top 3.
It's like a calculus equation now, guys.
He might be top 3.
That I got to do.
So in the U.S., all right. Let's put it like this: in the U.S., he's a top 3 draw.
He might be. I would be curious to see what Berlanga's numbers do. I'd be curious to see what a guy like. Well, you said
come on, man. You ain't being serious.
I am being serious. Berlanga,
you said Berlanga going out.
Berlanga's not. He's never even done pay-per-view.
Just selling tickets.
No,
filling up Madison Square Garden.
Pay-per-view like somebody who's
okay, fair enough. Yeah. Berlanga's been like, you're right. I take that back. Berlanga's not been on pay-per-view. You're right.
Like we've been on this for like 30 minutes. So with that said,
damn, we still got 3 more fights we gotta do.
Yeah. So we I think we pretty much know everybody's picking Haney, so we don't have to go through the rigmarole, even with odds and stuff like that. All the pundits are picking him. Anybody picking who want to go out on the limb and say a knockout?
No.
Absolutely not.